So for this video, same thing as the last one. This is another Scrim track sheet that I made that's a little bit more in depth. Um, but, I wanted to say that what I did here for the dashboard, which is the whole point of the video that I'm going to show in a sec after I just kind of show you the breakdown of it, is that I don't go to school for this. It's just something that I've wanted to learn on my own because I think it's a useful skill. So I just, all this is just for practice for myself. So I know that there's people out there that are way better than me at this. But like I said, just trying to learn. I don't have any kind of school projects that I got to practice for this type of thing. So I just made a project for myself to try. So anyway, moving on from that, this is just the raw data of all the basic info that I have in here, so you can see like how it correlates with the dashboard in a sec. But just breaking this down, uh, team, and again, this is for scrims. So I did learn a lot while doing this, and I see what I would do different in the future as well. But I also saw, like, noticed what some ideas of like how I would do in terms of uh, if I was to do like a head-to-head, right? Like, so when I was in Challenger League as a coach, or if I were to go as an analyst, like I would have our team's data, whether it's scrim day data or game day data for our team, and then the game day data for the team that we're going to play against, and then it would show the data side by side, so you could see a comparison of like your strengths, their strengths, weaknesses, maybe stuff you could capitalize on, whatever. But this is just a scrim sheet. So before I go on a crazy rant about the ideas I had, I'll focus up. So anyway, so you can see all some of this stuff I wouldn't use in the scrim track sheet, so you won't see it. But anyway, so it's just broken down: map, round, side, round win loss, the site, all this stuff, right? So this is just the basic info, the raw data, and then from there, all this info is like some tables that I made based off of this info. So then if I were to add more, so you can see here I only added like 108 um, records. I thought about putting in a lot more, but then I was like, this is just practice. I don't care. But it would look probably a little bit better with a lot more data in it. So anyway, for these tables over here are some basic tables that pull data from that, so it's a little bit easier to go through, so you could see that type of stuff. And then, so then from there, so everything, like if I add data in here, then it would update in here, and then it would go to this dashboard, and it would update in here. But so this is the just my first dashboard that I ever made. It's very basic. Um, it's not interactive, which is something that the next dashboard project that I make for myself, I want to make a interactive dashboard. So like if I clicked a button, it would show information just for that. Like for example, map. So I could click a map, see how our team does, and it would break all the info down for that map like this, and then so then you can see per map, right? But this is just a basic one. It's not interactive. So over here, starting off, we just have like some basic round info, so you can see total rounds that this hypothetical team played, um, how many they won, how many they lost, and then it's broken down between attack and defense. And then you have a bar graph showing that same info. Like I said, this is just a learning process for me, so I wanted to try out kind of as much as I could just to get some experience, see how it works, mess around with it. So that's why you see a lot of different stuff in here. So that's what that first table is. This next table is for like plant information. So this one shows the PA for me is plant attempt. So 49% of the time. So I took that from their 55 rounds of attack. They plant 49% of the time. From the number of times they attempted planting, they were successful 81% of the time with their plants. And then 78% of the time they were successful in winning. So, something like this, for example, I would change the order. So the 49% I think should be at the top and work its way down. But that's so that would be our info in terms of how off our plant information, and then we have the enemy plant information of how many times the enemy have planted. So of our 52 defense rounds here, the enemies attempted planting against us 21% of the time. Again, this is all just fake information; it's not real. Um, then the enemies were 64% of the time successful, and then we won. Like, so the enemy plant diffused here would be how many times we diffuse. So of their 64% of plants, we were 29% successful in diffusing the bomb, right? So that's what that table is. Moving over here, we have the three tables for map information. So here's just a basic breakdown of map win percentage. So then we have it broke down by attack and defense here. So you could see, this hypothetical team, for just the information that I put in over here, they only played 5 maps, right? So then for attacks, they attacked Consulate. Out of all their attacks on Consulate, they were 67% successful. Like I said, all fake data. And then same thing for defense here. So that's what that table is, very basic. And then this next table over here, or next two, are same thing, broke down into attack and defense, but then it's broken down into sites. So we could say here that this fake team attacked Garage 10 times, so it's the most attacks they did. And then we can look over here and see how they did. So then we could see Consulate Garage, they won it about 80% of the time, right? So of their 10 attacks, they won 80% of the time on that. So that's pretty cool. Same thing on defense. You can see the breakdown of how many times they defended like one site, and then their win percentage on that. So then we'll go over here to the opening death stats. This is per player. So these are the hypothetical players. So Brock here is probably, we can assume, the all-star entry for this team. He's been involved in the most opening engagements of 36. And of those 36 engagements, he's got the opening kill 24 times. And then it's broke down between each player. And then this table here is just a percentage. So this shows the numbers, but then this shows the percentage. So we already know based off of the graph here that Brock is involved in the most. But if you break it down into percentage, he's involved in 34% of the opening engagements, right? Next to it, we have a more basic info. So this is just opening kills, opening deaths as a whole for the team. And then you have it broke down into attack and defense, and then the totals. And then down here, we have the average kill time. So this team, hypothetically, is in their first engagement on average at a minute 28. And then on average, they have players remaining 1.6. So almost 2 if we round up, right? So that's pretty solid. And then these last two tables, we have it broke down into attack and defense strats. So that, like I was talking about before, what I would change in the future is that I would break it down per um, map, right? So then if I clicked Consulate, it would show the attack strategies and defense strategies of I don't know if you guys can hear, but my dogs are playing behind me. It would break down the attack strategies and the defense strategies for Consulate, right? Or Oregon, whatever I click. So, but this is just like a basic one, so I just wanted to make it real simple. So, anyway, hypothetically, this team attempted. So this is showing attempts and percentage. So hypothetically, this team tried their attack strat one about 21 times, and of those 21 times, hey, cut it out. Holy shit. Of those 21 times, they were 62% successful for that strategy, right? But then we could see here attack strategy 2 and 3, they've attempted 15 and 14 times, and they're in the 33% range. So then, by seeing that, we can identify okay, we need to go look at these strategies and see what the problem is, or we just need to remove those strategies and bring in some new strategies and try those out, right? So this is the attack and defense version of that. Um, so I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, I just tried a lot of stuff out. That's why there's just all these different graphs in here. Because it was my first time, and it's just like a personal project that I'm trying to teach myself. So I wanted to try as much stuff out as I could. I would change a lot. Like I would obviously change colors. I would change a lot, and I would make it interactive. So like I said, I could only see information based on a map. But then now seeing this and what ideas I kind of had in the future of what I want to make is, like I said, this one is just a scrim track sheet. So it would just be tracking scrim information for our teams. So that's what this all is, so that we can identify problems, like, via strategy or whatever we might have, or maybe one of our players, entry players, like say Bob was our other entry besides Brock. Well, we see there's a huge discrepancy between Brock and Bob in terms of open engagements. So we could break information down like that, right? So then what I would want to do is obviously make it interactive in the future, so it only shows stats per map instead of just an overall stat like this or page like this. But then the other thing that I want to try and do is make an interactive head-to-head. So like if you were preparing for an opponent, you could it would show your like game day stats over here, maybe on the left, and then it would show their game day stats over here on the right, and then you can see like breakdown information like this to see your strengths and weaknesses, their strengths and weaknesses, that kind of stuff. But that's something that I'm gonna work on. Again, this is all stuff that I work on the side, just as a personal project. So, but those are some ideas I had. I thought I'd post this up just for one because I thought it was cool for me. It was fun for me to learn. It's definitely I want to, I have ideas on what I would want to do moving further to make it better. But as well as on YouTube, or at least in terms of Rainbow Six and gaming in general, I can't really find stuff like this to get ideas from and learn from. So I thought I'd show it as well because, yeah, I probably suck at it. I'll be honest. Like I said, it's a learning process, but maybe it gives some people ideas on what they would do or how they would do it. If you're an analyst or a coach, and you could take some ideas and use it for yourself. So thought it was cool. Hope it was cool for some people to see this type of thing. Um, Very fun for me. Definitely want to do more. But yeah, this is all. So enjoy your holiday.